Hey, how's everyone? Good to be back. Missed you the last couple of weeks. I'm just going to check that I've gone live on my page. Because we all know Facebook takes a little bit of time to catch up, so we have to just check. So I'm making sure I'm in the right page, because those of you who follow me know that I am liable to have gone to the wrong page. Okie dokie, I'm there. Okay, say hello if you're on, and let me know how you are and where you're watching from too. So at the moment, right up there is the live button. That's letting you know that I am live. But if you're watching the replay, please don't hesitate to leave a comment. My name's Anita Mazzero. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator in Horsham, Victoria. Firstly, I need to apologise for last week for no message going up. I thought I had it all planned before I went away so that you knew what was going on. And for some reason, last Monday's No Facebook Live went into the cyberspace. I have no idea where it went. I completely lost it, and it never came up on the page. But last Monday, the reason I didn't do it was we were coming home from Adelaide, and we didn't get home till 2:30, something like that. And you know what it's like. You've got to unpack the car, you've got to get everything going and do the... Hello, Kay. How are you today? So, you know, that's what happens when you travel. But anyway, it was nice to be away. How's Murray and the family, Kay? So anyway, we've got a lot to tell you. We're our annual catalogue and mini catalogue have only got a couple of weeks left, and they will be gone. And then we start our wonderful new catalogue. So there's lots and lots happening. Today I have a fun fold for you, which is using products that will still be in the catalogue, but I'm using one item from a new product. And I think the sentiment, the sentiment is from a retiring stamp set. I did have a great break, Kay. I really did. It was absolutely lovely away. The boys enjoyed the games that they went to see, except for one, mainly because Ferdy's team didn't win. So that's understandable. But they enjoyed the rest of the time. And let's face it, Adelaide was extremely busy. I heard when I came back that Horsham had 60,000 cars come through just with traffic going through to Adelaide. So it's a lot of people. So, but I have to admit, Adelaide handled it well. Everything ran smoothly. Trains ran smoothly. Everything like that just went really well. So that's probably a positive for Adelaide. And I'm sure they're only going to get better the more gather rounds that they have. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll pop the camera down and we will chat about what we're going to do. So it won't be a moment, so just... There we go. Okay, now, I'm sure I've got this in view, is our kits. Now, if you're a person that's thinking, you know, Anita's got a lot of stuff there, I'd like to try it, but, you know, do I have to buy everything? The answer is no, you don't. Hi, Jacinta, how are you? So because of that, I'm going to show you our kits. Stampin' Up make kits that are so simple. Everything you need in it is in a kit. So the ones that are out now that are available are the By Your Side kit. And this is a fabulous one for people who have pets. I think, you know, if you're a cat or a dog lover, you can do a lot with that, and it's a great one. This Frog and Friends kit is, I think, a great one for kids. It's a little interactive game. And if you remember those little popping games that you used to have to try and catch the little popper or the ball on the end, that's what it's like. Oh, you're watching during your lunch break, Jacinta. Okay, well, we better not let the boss catch you. I'm sure you won't say too much. Anyway, so that's what this little kit's for. And to put this together, and they're quite large, so they're easy for the kids to handle. And I think they'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to be getting that so that I can make these for my two little great-grandies, because I think the older one would love playing with it. Then we have the great home decor, the Happy Houseplants. Now these are 4 6x6 frames. You get the frames as well as all the bits and pieces, the die cuts that you need to put this together. And it's your creativity that will stop you. So you can put it together exactly as the thing. You can add to it. You can do whatever. It's a beautiful set. And then we have a beautiful birthday sparkle kit. And this kit actually has little gift tags as well as cards. So what a great idea that is. Something that for everyone to use. So I'm just checking. I'm hoping I'm still on and I haven't frozen, because it looks like I've frozen on the screen. Can someone just let me know? Am I frozen or am I still there? Because on my screen I have frozen, so I'm hoping I haven't. Internet here is shocking at the moment. Just changing bandwidths again and see what is going on. Just double checking my computer, so please bear with me. It looks like I may have frozen. I hope I haven't. But lately let's see, I think that now I might be back. Yep, I'm still here. That's good. Not frozen. It must have been just frozen my end. As I said, my internet can play up. So we're going to take pot luck that it's working. They've been working around here getting ready for 5G. And since that's been happening, we have found our internet has been so slow and just hit and miss on whether we get on. It's just unbelievable. So if this is what 5G is like, give me back something quicker. Anyway, we got about the kits. I hope you all got that. So the houseplants and the birthday sparkle. So as I said, not long to go. A couple more weeks and our new catalogue's out and available. To my customers, you'll be getting yours delivered within the next couple of weeks, as mine have just arrived. Anyone who hasn't got a demonstrator but would like a copy, please reach out to me and I will put one in the mail to you so that you've got a copy. I'm loving this catalogue. I think it's fabulous in the way it's presented. It means that you've got to hunt for some little gems, because lots of things are hidden in there, and I think this is probably the catalogue I've looked through the most to find things because of the way they've spread it around. And I don't mind that, because unfortunately I usually just pick up a book and go, and oh yeah, I'll look at that later. Now I have to look at it. The good news is we've got stamp sets returning. We've got designer series paper returning. So how good's that? So that's really nice. So some of the stamp sets that are now bundles will not be bundles in the new catalogue. They'll be separate. So if you are interested in any of them, reach out to me. I'll let you know whether they're still current and which ones they are. So that's enough for that. So today we are going to make this fun fold. And this is the card. And I got this from Julianne Richards. I saw this on her blog and I thought, how nice is this card? It is just beautiful. Something special and different. I'm going to just change up the greeting, but everything else will be pretty much as we see here. And so I'm going to be using the lovely and sweet stamps and dies so we can cut out our flower. We're going to be using our blends, and I'm going to be using a circle from one of the new sets, and this is a set that I got when I went to On Stage, was the Spotlight on Nature. But if you think the dies are going to do these items, you are wrong. The dies are these beautiful, beautiful dies. How stunning are they? Absolutely gorgeous. So you've got like 3, 4 of each. So you can interlock them. You can have different patterns. I just love these dies. That's what sold me on this. I think when it came time to choosing an item for our after hours products, this product spoke to me more because of the dies. They're very versatile and they can be used over and over and over. And, you know, you want a bang for your buck, don't you? So that's what I've used that die. So I'll just pop that out of the way. I have done a lot of prep beforehand, but I'm going to get my trimmer and we're going to cut this out. One sheet of A4 will cut all the pieces, including your mechanism. So you're not wasting a lot of paper. And this is the way I found it to work for me. So we're going to cut at 14 centimetres by the width, not the length, the width, which is 21 centimetres this way, and we're going to cut 14 that way. And then we'll take that and score at 10.5 centimetres, 10.5. So there's my card base. Now I'm going to take this again with the small side at the top, put that in, and I'm going to cut this, at 8.2 centimetres, 8.2. And these will be our little doors. And then we'll rotate that and we will cut that at 5.1 centimetres. So 2 pieces. These are our little doors for the inside of the card. Then we're going to take this piece and rotate this to the long edge, not the short edge for this one. And we're going to have this, and sorry, I'm checking my notes because when I watched Julianne Richards, it was all in inches and I've converted it back to centimetres. So we're going to cut this at 12.4 in length. So that gives us a nice long piece. We're going to rotate that and we're going to cut that at 3.8 centimetres, which is 1.5 inches. So you should get 2 even pieces at 3.8. So I'll just double check to make sure that I'm right. So just a hair to come off. So there's only that little tiny bit that comes off. You've got those scraps left over. Now we're going to take this to 1.9. And the beauty of our trimmer, we have measurements on this side and this side. And as I don't know if you can see, I'll just bring this up. I'm hoping you can see. You can see that I've got it just to each side. So that's the beauty of making sure that you've got this exactly in the same spot. So we're going to go and score this at 1.9 or 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to score that one and then repeat the process with the other long piece. I'm going to score. Now, you're going to get a pencil, and these fine tip pencils are fabulous. So we're going to mark at 1.9 centimetres. No, hang on, I've written that wrong. Oh, no, sorry, that was the width of side. So now we have to turn this, and I forgot to write that note down. So this is going to be at 3.8, which is 1.5 inches. And you're just going to put a little mark at the top and the bottom of your piece. Just a little pencil mark. So can you see that there? Just so that you can see that I've got a little mark just there and there. Okay? So you're going to do that to both pieces. So it's 3.8. And I'm going to put my little note. Now that you've got your marks, you're going to take your piece and you're going to take your score mark on one and turn so that your point is at that end. Make sure that your scoring blade is at the thicker end. Don't try to come in from here, because if you do, it's going to jam up. So we rotate that over, and then we'll put a line in there and repeat again for the other side. So put your mark, and I've just got to see mine. There it is. So I put my mark in the track, rotate it till I've got that, put my scoring blade so it starts at that end, and score that. And you should get it crossed evenly in the middle if you've done it correctly. I'll repeat for the other process so that you can see what I'm doing. I'll just make those marks just a fraction larger. That's better. So again, we're going to put the pencil mark in the track. Make sure that the point is in the track, and then we'll score. Rotate it around, pop your pencil mark in. I hope I'm not coming out of screen. And then put your point at that track, and when you've got that in correctly, you will then slide across, and there's your mechanism. That is your cutting, apart from the other bits which I've done ahead of time, but I thought I'd show you this just to show you how it can be done from one piece of cardstock. So what we'll do now is we're going to score our card base. Oh, not score, fold our card base. We're going to take that, and we've scored that. So that's our card base. We're then going to take our mechanism and we're going to fold in half. And if your scoring's properly, it should be in half. And it must have slightly moved on me, but it won't matter. I can manoeuvre it to fit. Burnish all the score marks. Sorry, I'm going back off screen again. I keep forgetting. Get your score marks and fold. And this is the way you can see that it's been done correctly. And then you'll do that again on that side. And repeat for the other side. Take your fold, turn it over, and take your fold. And there's your two mechanisms. Now, one is left and one is right. So a way to know what you've got to do, and I'm using grey, which is probably not the right colour, but we're going to cut down this line. I'll use this pencil here. We're going to cut down this line here to where it joins, and then down there, and we're going to take that off one side. Then on the other side, we're going to do the same process, but the opposite side. So we're going to take those two pieces off. So I'll grab my scissors, which was here a minute ago, and it has gone walkabout. There they are. I've got new little cabinet little containers that I bought from Kmart when I was in Adelaide. These little square Lazy Susans that are absolutely brilliant for holding things in. So I've found this absolutely marvellous. I've got to remember that this is where I'm looking now. I used to have a big Lazy Susan sitting on the desk and had everything sitting in cups, which took up quite a lot of room. This didn't, and I have to thank my sister-in-law for that because she had them. So I'll cut this away. Trim that one away. Then they're my two pieces. So really that's all you're cutting apart from your layers, which I've already cut. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our piece. Now you can use liquid, I prefer liquid glue. It does take a little bit longer to dry, but in this case, because we have to be precise, it gives us a bit of wiggle room. So I'm going to pop some glue on there. And then I'm going to take this piece, and I found turning it upside down works the best. And I'm going to measure right into the corner and right flush with the base. And then continue all the way. So as you can see, it's flush at the bottom. Oops, that's just moved on me. I'll go back into it again. Get it right. There we go. So flush to the bottom and flush to the side. So that'll sit like that. So that's your first piece. Then you'll repeat the process for the opposite side. Again, just put some glue on. Whoops, probably out of camera. I am so sorry. I think what I need is something that's going to go beep. You're out of camera. Come back again. So for this side, I bring it the right way round so I can see what I'm doing. Measuring up that. And put that into place. So there's that card. Now I've got all my little bits and pieces here. I've popped it all in an envelope so I don't lose anything. And lastly, okay. So I've got some ribbon. I've got some of those beautiful cork rounds, which I'll be sorry to see go. I've got some wild wheat. And this is the circle I've used from our new dies. I hope you like them because I think they're fabulous. So that's the new circle. So what I'm going to do, and I'm missing something out of this pack. What am I missing? I know what I'm missing, and luckily I've got some right here with me, is I have not cut the inside. Well, you know, being organised isn't always organised. So for the inside here, you will need a layer of, well, in this case I'm using the wild wheat, and that is 10.2 by 9.9. So it's nearly square, but not quite. So that's going to be the layer to go on the inside. That will just fit in there. Probably go back to 9.8. Probably just take that extra centimetre off. 9.8. I was nearly going to take it to 8.8. Woohoo! That wouldn't have made a difference. So I'm just taking that little millimetre off. Make sure it fits properly. Yep, that's better. Just needed that little bit of room. Then I'll get a layer of cream. I'll just see if it's going to be, no. I called it cream, but I mean very vanilla. And sadly, we're losing our very vanilla thick, which I do use quite a bit. So that's going to be strange. So this one will be 9.5 by 9.9. So I might just take it to 9.9. Because it's fairly square, when you look at it, if you accidentally, when I checked it then, I was looking this way and I thought, oh, I've gone a bit wrong. But when you turn it around the right way, it then fits nicely. Okay. Goodbye trimmer, hopefully for the last time. So before I do any sticking down of our mechanism, I feel it's easier to put these parts in prior. So I'm going to glue this down. Now I should have done this before. I just going to pop that in place, and I should have done this before I put it down, but the glue was on and it's a bit late. I'm going to take from our stamp set, I'm going to just take this little splodge and I'm going to use Pebble Path, and I'm just going to put this mesh a little bit in each corner, the top, just to give it a little bit of character and it's not so blank inside. So I'm going to then glue that flat inside the piece. Pop that in there while you can get into it open. Okay. Then we're going to get, I've got two small pieces for the inside panel, 1.6 centimetres by 10.2, and they fit and they cover where the cut line is along here. So we're going to put them just over the top, just to hide it. The gold seems shame to cut off, but when I looked at doing it with the gold, it was just a bit too bright and it didn't quite match the rest of the card. But you can use whatever side. The paper I'm using is the Nature Sweetness 12 by 12 paper, and this paper is returning. So I think it's a beautiful paper. I've used a fair bit of it and I absolutely love it. Now this has got print on it. Make sure the prints are the same way. And I'll just pop that over there. So what that is just hiding our mechanism. So instead of seeing the lines there now where the cut off piece is, you're not going to see it at all. You're just going to see that. And it's nice and neat. And yeah. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it like so. I'm going to do the same with the other side. And then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue in the little triangle. So if I bring this up, you can see it's just that little triangle on each side. I'm just going to do that, hold that in place, take my card and bring it down and give that a good press so that that sticks. And there is our, whoops, don't do what I did. Do as I say, not as I do. So it's not quite holding yet. I'm going to hold that in place. Excuse me. Now, while we've got it going, we're going to put our doors on. And our doors, I should have probably put these on before. Our doors are going to fit in here, flush with the bottom and along there. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue down the edge of one of these panels, and I'm going to line it up with the score mark and the bottom and seal that in place, making sure it's nice and straight. Sorry, you can't see me under that. I should have done that before I sealed it. And then repeat for the other side. Do exactly the same thing. Line up with your score mark. Line up with your bottom, making sure it's nice and straight. And there's your door. So there's our door to our card. So then I've got 2 pieces of wild wheat and 2 pieces of the Design It series paper. Now I need to make sure I've got it the right way. Yep. Because the last thing you want is the writing to be upside down. So I'm just going to glue these together. And I'll pop that on. Now these pieces, the wild wheat is 4.8 by 7.6 and the DSP is 4.5 by 7.3. And we'll pop that like so. And then we glue these to the inside door. I'll call them the doors, flaps, whatever you like to call them. And you just glue them in place, making sure they're centered. And unfortunately, this is what I should have done beforehand so that you can see it. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So that's on that flap. And repeat the same for the other side. Putting that in place. So there we go, there's our inside of the card. You can write inside, so when the card's open, it's easy to do, and then the doors will close, as will your front. So we're going to work on the front. So I've got a piece of DSP and a piece of wild wheat, and I'm just going to adhere them together. And I've only got a small border around these. So the wild wheat is 10.2 by 13.7 and the DSP layer is 9.9 by 13.4. And then we're going to pop this on. When I made my first one, I had all the mechanism put in and then I had to try and stick all the pieces. And I thought I was being smart by telling you to do this side and this, but I forgot about these little pieces. So there's 3/4 of our card done. So our circle will go on there in a moment. But what I'm going to do now, oh, that's my sentiment. So I'm going to take the large flower and just going to ink this up. And I've used Pebble Path. I don't know what I'm going to do when this one goes because I absolutely love it. So I'm just going to stamp that on. And we'll colour it. Now, how I colour the leaves and everything was a process of what I used. Now, to do my leaves, I used light old olive, light mossy meadow, and light pretty peacocks. Now you think pretty peacock, but it is a greeny, well, I call it, put it into the greens. So what I did, and I'll just show you roughly on this one, I've already got one prepared and cut out, which now that I say that, where did I sit it? It was here a second ago, and I've moved things, and it's gone, there it is, it's gone walkabout. So if I show you the finished one, you'll see that I've done it, and you really can't tell that there's some pretty peacock in there. So what I did was I just very lightly, in the centre, went with some light old olive. I then took my dark old olive and just went up the vein and just put a little bit of colour on the vein to each side, and then brought my pretty peacock in and I went over it and added a little bit more because I wanted a bit of a bluey green look. And the reason I only went on the inside is because this will bleed very easily because of the layers, and we don't want it to go over. So I then take my old olive and I then very carefully went round the outside of the leaf and then filled in the colour in the middle. So very carefully, so there's not an over lot of, just did that. So it's mainly in the middle. And as you can see, that's a lot darker than what this one is. So you can see when it dries, you've got the depth in the middle and created, but it's also got lots of colour in it. So that's what I did there. Then I took light and dark crumb cake for my cocoa bean, I presume it's called. So what I did was I then layered some dark around the top of this particular bean because it's more in the shadow. So I wanted it to cast a deep shadow, and just add a little bit where there's some lines that the concept artists have put. You don't have to put much. And then I took the light crumb cake and then blended all that together. Just blended that. And then took the colour and blended it in around there. And again for this one. Now the beauty of our Stampin' Blends is that it's not like colouring pencils or textures. You're not going to see lines. When it dries beautifully and it blends. I then took one of our skin coloured blends, and this is the SU1000. It's a really nice pink, and it's probably a more natural pink than maybe the petal pink or flirty flamingo. And I just went where the stamens are, just to give it a hint of colour. And I forgot while I had the crumb cake, with the dark crumb cake, I just put, I don't know if they're meant to be the pods or whether they're flowers, but I just pretended they were pods. And then I just filled in the stem with the light crumb cake. And like so. So with the magic of television, we've die cut this out, and there's our piece. So you can see once it's dried, like even when you look at that, the colours are certainly changed quite considerably. Now, we're nearly finished. What I've done is I've then got some of this gold ribbon, and I think this one is finishing. I can't be 100% sure. So what I want to do is make like an S across my card like so. Now, this is always hard to get it to stay. So what I'm going to do, get back to what I want, which will be like that. I'll grab my block, and then I'm going to take a piece of tear and tape, because it will be hidden under the large circle. I'm just going to put that like so. Which also allows me to fiddle a little bit. I'll bring that down just a fraction. And then I'm going to trim off the top of that one. So basically we're wanting it to cover. Now this looks like a lot of ribbon and you think, oh heavens, what have you done there, Anita? So but the circle covers quite an area. Sorry for reaching over, I wasn't ready. Hello, Michael, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. I think your colouring's better than mine. Anyone that's watching, go check out Michael's card art on YouTube and have a look at the beautiful work Michael does. I love what he does. So I've taken a bit of colour from the wild wheat, and it looks black on here, but it's actually quite a yellow, and I'm just going to colour in the middle of my circle, and judge your own intensity by your flower. If I show you cream on cream, the flower looks a bit lost. It doesn't have the depth in it. Well, I don't think it does anyway. But I just felt the little bit of colour, adding that on there makes it go. So I'm going to change the direction of my flower to that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some dimensionals, and I'm going to pop just a few on there to hold it in place. When in doubt, just add another one. Then I'm going to remove the backs. Take my circle. And I'm not worried that I've got a blob in the middle because I know my flower's going to cover it. And it needs another dimensional. So if you get to a point like I've just done where I've put a, oops, come here. I need another dimensional underneath, but I've already put it on. Just take your dimensional, undo it, take the backing off and pop it on, and you've got that there. So now I'm going to do this, and I'm going to put a few dimensionals on the back of my flower. I'm not going to overdo the dimensionals. I'm sort of just going to pick points where I feel the flower needs to be anchored. So that's probably one under there. So that's probably enough, because I like the natural look where it's not stuck to the page. Take that, and I'm going to pop that like so. And close your ink pad, Anita, before you stick your hand in it, because that's something I'm liable to do. Now I'm going to get my Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to add a little bit of Wink, because let's face it, the Wink of Stella is the best tool out. So I'm just going to place a little bit on the flowers, and only the flowers, nowhere else, just to create that sparkle. I don't know if you can see it on there. I'm hoping you can. Just wait for it to catch up. But yeah, there's just that hint of sparkle. So then I'm going to stamp on a piece of Very Vanilla in the Pebble Path. And as I said, this is a lovely ink. And I'm just going to stamp it down the bottom of this little scrap. And look, isn't that a beautiful birthday sentiment? Nice and easy to use, not too hard. But that's unfortunately leaving us. Oops. You may have queried the fact that I had the stamp on the block on a diagonal. I got jumped off before, but I actually, when I'm stamping words, for some unknown reason, if I have it on an angle, I seem to be able to stamp it straighter. Mind over matter? I don't know. But anyway, that's what I do. So I'll get my trimmer. You just don't want to see my desk. I had classes yesterday and Wednesday, and I don't think I've recovered from it. That's what going away does for you, doesn't it? So I'm just going to trim this down. Just use my trimmer to judge it. And have a look at how I want it on here. So I think I might take that to the edge, and we might just use the scissors for this. And just put a little flag on the end. Now I've used dimensionals here, so I've got a bit of height there, and I want to put this on top. This is going to not be very good if I only put one dimensional. It needs two. So what I do is I get my dimensionals, put one on, take the back off, lift the dimensional and put the second one on. And preferably, if the dimensional's behaving itself, you should be able to put the two of them on top of each other in the same direction. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of glue at this end. Not a lot. I'm going to pick up my happy birthday, and I'm going to have this sitting right over the edge, cross like so, and the happy birthday. And as you can see, that's nice and straight because I've got dimensionals under there, and I've used the double dimensional here to create that look. So we're nearly there. So the last thing is I'm just going to add these cork rounds. They're really cute. And I think they really suit this particular paper. And I might just put this one down in there. Well, stay where I want you to go. There we go. So there's our fun fold card. So as you can see, it opens up and voila, you've got your little thing inside. Now, if you wanted to, you could put repeat the square inside here and create that. But it's a very heavy card as it is already. So I would suggest it's up to you whether you're hand giving it or posting it, because that makes a difference in the height and everything else. So I hope you like this card, because it's something I'm not a fun fold person. Well, I love fun folds, but I never have much luck when I'm trying to do one from scratch, or when I've taken one from somebody else's and they've got inches. Not been very good at getting them right. So anyway, I've done it this time, but I hope you like it. So I'll post a picture of that one up in a moment, but it is a nice card, and the fact that the paper and the stamps, as I said, that's the only new item I've added, and I think the ribbon's going, but everything else is staying. So this is I have no idea what you'd call this. Book flap card? I have no idea. So there's a fun fold that we've done for today. So I hope you've enjoyed that. And I'll just flip the camera by my little button. I often have trouble with that button. I keep trying to flick it and do everything else, and it does things like show you the roof. And I don't think you want to see my roof. Very uninteresting. And you don't need to see my ink pads that are just sitting there in front of me. My plan one day is to rearrange my craft room, because if you see the mess it's in at the moment, and arrange things that I've got my computer in front of me rather than to the side, and I'm reaching through the camera to get to my stuff. But I'll get there one day. Life takes over. So that's how it is. So anyway, I shall see you all next week. Enjoy, and I hope if you're going to recreate this card, please pop it on my page. Thanks, Casey. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, so if you do recreate it, pop it on my page. Let me have a look at it, because I'd love to see what you do with it and what papers you use, because the first time I made one, and I can't show you that one because it was for my daughter and son-in-law for their 30th wedding anniversary. I made one using the Flight and Airy DSP that was out in Celebration. And that was such a light, lovely card. So this one's a bit different, a little bit heavier, but it just gives it a different look, and it's something that I certainly enjoy. So anyway, have a great week. Happy crafting, and enjoy the rest of the week and your weekend. Okay, I no doubt will see you at the weekend along with Jacinta, and we'll have fun on Saturday. So anyway, I'll say goodbye for now, and we'll see you next week. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye.